This episode of FilmRiot is brought to you by Domain.com. Today on FilmRiot, we do some lens whacking. Welcome to FilmRiot, the show that takes the mystery out of the effects and techniques of one of your favorite Hollywood films. I'm your host, Ryan Conley, and today we do some lens whacking, my friends, which is not as creepy as it sounds. Email. Hey, Raga, just saw a video with a great effect. I've seen this before and was hoping you could show how to do it. Is this done in post? He had a link in the email to show what he was talking about, and the effect he was referring to was actually done all in camera. It's a pretty popular technique as of late, and it's called lens whacking, which is what I was using in the opening video. But now, let's get into it, find out what it is, and how you can do it. This technique, which by most videographers is called lens whacking, but is also called free lensing by most photographers, is the act of holding a disconnected lens in front of your camera to allow light leak to hit your sensor. Disconnecting the lens like this will have two effects on your image. One is with the focus points in your image, and the other is the obvious artistic lens flare situation that you can achieve doing this effect. The best part about this is how simplistic it is to do it. So, how do you do it? First, you need the right lens for your camera. Although I have been able to make this effect work with just about any lens, I found that my 50mm Helios lens works best, which really, you just want something that isn't too high in focal length, since the more zoomed in your lens is, the more issue you're gonna have with shake, as you will be free-handing the lens out in front of your camera. You also want something that has a smaller connection than the opening of your camera, so you can get the butt of the lens in there a bit more. But now that you have chosen your lens, you need to set your focus to infinity, which you will leave there. You won't be pulling focus from the lens with this method. A lot of people will also say to set your iris as wide open as possible. This is not really mandatory. It's not really going to affect the light leak that much, but it will affect the depth of field situation. So if you want to do crazy focus effects, you're definitely going to want to up that as much as possible. But even closed down, you're still going to get those effects, just not as extreme. Now set your shutter speed to 2 times your frame rate. Now hold your lens in front of your camera's opening and move it away, then back, tilt it side to side, then up and down. Mess around with this to see all the different effects that you can get. At first, this will feel very awkward. Finding the right positioning for your hands while doing this is one of the hardest parts. You need to be able to stabilize the hand that is holding the lens as much as possible to prevent crazy shake. For me, I do close to the same thing most everyone else does from what I've read. I hold the camera in the palm of my left hand, then the lens between my thumb and pointer finger, with my right hand holding the top front of my camera to stabilize. But more importantly, I hold my hand here so that I can block light from getting to my sensor when I want to. Sometimes no matter which way you shift your lens, your sensor is still going to get flooded with light, completely washing out your shot. So with your hand here, you can help stabilize your camera lens, but also shade your sensor when need be. But that's pretty much it. Now that you have that info, it's time to experiment. Move your lens around, pull it away, back to your camera to see the different effects you can get. There's really no wrong way to do this, just go crazy and be creative. A couple of things that I really love about this technique though is that it turns every lens into a macro lens. You can get super close to a subject by pulling the lens further away from the camera, like so. So if you want to get really all up ons, as they say, you can do that. Another thing, and probably my favorite thing, is the ability to get the split focus diopter effect, meaning two totally different planes within your image are in focus at the same time. You've seen this effect plenty of times, most notably in Brian De Palma's films. He uses it I don't know, almost every film. You can spot this effect when both the near and far points of an image are in focus at the same time, and there's usually a small line between the two planes that is out of focus. To pull this effect off with a regular lens, all you need to do is take your disconnected lens and put it up to your camera at an angle. Half of the lens will be further from the camera sensor and the other half much closer. And since we just learned that we need to move the lens away to focus on things that are near and move it closer to get things that are further away, we will now have half that image in focus on things that are close and half the image focus on things that are further away. I love this effect. There's something really odd and interesting about it, but that is basically it. It's extremely simple and a lot of fun, and I know there's going to be a lot of haters for this. People seem to get offended over anything that's different in any way, but don't listen to them. Consider every new technique that you use as something to keep in your filmmaker toolbox, so when the moment calls for it, you're ready to pull that out as a solution to get an effect you need to fit your story. And if you want inspiration or just want to see how cool this technique can really be, check out James Miller's work on Vimeo. I found him through Philip Bloom's post on lens whacking a while back. His stuff is really great. From what I've seen, he's pretty much the master of this effect, in my opinion. But now, a quick break, and then we're going to talk about how to get these light leaks in post-production. Domain.com is a place to go if you want to put something on the internet for people to congregate to and then know all about you. Whether you're promoting a film, photography, any kind of a business, or if it's just like a business card, a digital business card as we've talked about before, Domain.com really is the best place to go to get your domain name and hosting up and going. They got that domain discovery system that's going to help you pick the right name for you, and you can get 15% off your domain name and web hosting by using the coupon code FilmRiot at checkout. So if you're looking to build that presence on the interwebs, do it through Domain.com. Logo. So I showed how you can get this effect in camera, but I know that many people will jump right to the why not just do it in post-production question. Well, the first answer is because usually it is better to do as much in camera as possible when it is possible. Getting things organically just has a totally different feel and is usually far more effective in my opinion. The second reason is because you can't easily get that full effect in post. You could for the most part, but you'll be spending a lot more time trying to get that focus effect that happens. However, there is something that will help you get the light leak effect pretty easily, and that is the asset pack I found called 4K Leaks. It's a collection of 40 different light leak overlays that you can drop on top of your footage, switch the blending mode, and bazammy, you have yourself some light leakage. The price isn't bad either at $40, and this thing has all sorts of different colors and patterns, so you can mix them up if you want to, use them one at a time. It's definitely a cool pack, but whereas I think this is great for adding something extra, doing some cool transitions, or motion graphics for sure, I don't really think it even comes close to replacing the actual technique. But it's definitely a good alternative if you don't want to do it in camera or you can't for some reason. You can find 4K light leaks at this link right here. So download, go nuts. Logo. So to radically shift gears, last week I was lucky enough to head down to Austin to check out the Masters in Motion event for this year, mostly to catch up with friends like Philip and Papa Kessler, or Kessler Baby, as I've come to call him, but also just to see what's going on at this event. And I gotta tell you, I was really impressed. They had some very impressive people there teaching, like Philip Bloom, Vincent Laforet, Alex Bono, who is the DP for SNL Shorts, Eric Adal, I believe is how his name is pronounced. I might have just totally butchered it. Who is the sound designer behind Transformers, Argo, Kung Fu Panda, and a ton of other huge films. And of course, the man, Shane Hurlbut, who put on an insanely educational workshop around lighting. Now, this event has come and gone, so why am I bringing it up? Well, honestly, it's the first workshop that I have seen that I want to suggest to you guys. It was basically like a little mini film school. The price to go is pretty high, which you can find on their site. So for a lot of people, if you did want to go, you would have to start saving in advance, which is another reason I'm telling you now. Since the next one is a year away, you'll have some time to put away for it if you are interested. It just really is an exciting time for beginning filmmakers with all the info found on the internet and events like this where you not only get taught hands-on from the cinematographer of Hollywood feature films, but you also can network with other talented and passionate people. So getting where you go is becoming so much more accessible. But that is it for today. Definitely check out Masters in Motion site for more info, and don't forget to check out our Triune store. Remember, we have everything on sale for Christmas and are giving away 3 different packages at random to some lucky peeps. All you have to do is buy 2 or more items from the Triune store and you would automatically entered into the random drawing. 10 people are going to receive a signed Tell poster, Blu-ray, and script for their order, all of which are signed. 10 will receive a signed poster and signed script, and 10 others will receive a signed poster. So if you want a chance at being one of those 30, jump over to our store now. We're only doing this promotion until Christmas, so for pretty much the next 3 weeks, and then it's over. But that's it, friends. I'll see you guys next week when I help an angel get his wings.